For 30 years, Johnny Carson sat behind the same desk and never lost his composure on television, until he did.
Sis boom ba.
Sis boom ba.
Describe the sound made when a sheep explodes.
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
No, I didn't. Excuse me. God. Poor Myrtle thought I was eating her collection.
Here are 8 times Johnny Carson broke character on his own show, starting with the joke he himself called his second favorite moment in 30 years on the air. Karnak and the Exploding Sheep. August 5th, 1981. Johnny Carson is in full Karnak the Magnificent costume, the giant feathered turban, the cape, the imperial entrance. Ed McMahon is at his side. Carson has been doing the Karnak bit for almost 20 years. It's the most reliable sketch in his entire arsenal.
As promised, here's that famous visitor from the East, the all-seeing, all-knowing, all-telling, all-omniscient, famous seer, sage, soothsayer.
He works the envelope premise, hermetically sealed, mayonnaise jar, Funkin' Wagnall's porch. The bit lands. The audience is warmed up, then he runs through 6 envelopes, getting laughs at everyone.
But you.
Can we get on with this? Karnak a chance. A condor, a bald eagle, and a snail darter. Name 3 things less endangered than Tip O'Neill.
Envelope number 2.
He hits Tip O'Neill, he hits the air traffic controllers, he hits Cannonball Run, he hits Barbara Walters. The audience is following the bit perfectly. Carson is in complete control.
Cannonball Run.
Cannonball Run.
What do you call a drink made with gunpowder and tequila?
Then he picks up envelope 7. He divines the answer. He says, "Sis boom ba." McMahon repeats it. Carson rips it open and reads the question that becomes Wikipedia's official longest laugh ever recorded on the show.
Having trouble divining this one? All right. Yeah.
Sis boom ba.
Sis boom ba.
Describe the sound made when a sheep explodes.
The studio detonates. McMahon is gone. Carson is gone. The laugh runs 53 seconds. Carson cannot deliver the next answer. He's in costume. He's the host. And he's laughing so hard at his own joke that the show stops. When he finally recovers, 20 seconds later than any normal recovery, he tries to keep going. He hits, what kind of social disease can you get from an octopus? He hits the 7 dwarfs running the LA airport, but the entire bit is now operating in the wreckage of that one envelope.
What kind of social disease can you get from an octopus? Sneezy, happy, dark, grumpy, bashful,
Dopey.
dopey, and sleepy.
Carson himself ranked it the second favorite moment of his entire 30-year run, behind only the moment he opens this video. While Karnak broke him with a sheep, the moment he ranked number 1 happened in front of a wood panel cowboy, Ed Ames and the Tomahawk, April 29th, 1965. Ed Ames is at the height of his fame as Mingo on Daniel Boone, TV's most famous Native American character. He walks onto Carson's stage to demonstrate the tomahawk throwing technique he learned for the show. There's a wooden cowboy outline set up downstage. He explains the form to Carson.
What is the trick on it? You throw underhanded?
No.
Overhanded.
It's an overhand throw. The trick is to keep your arm extended, and that way you break the microphone. You know, you keep your arm extended and put only one revolution on the once around on the way, but that's indefinite.
He winds up, he throws. The tomahawk flies across the stage. The handle hits the wooden cowboy directly between the legs and sticks there, pointing upward at a perfect right angle. The audience erupts. Carson, visibly trying to hold composure, physically stops Ed Ames from going to retrieve the tomahawk. He milks the audience reaction. He waits the longest beat of his career, and then he cracks first with a single ad-libbed line that becomes the most famous joke in late-night television history.
I didn't even know you were Jewish.
The audience reaction, per the New England Historical Society, is officially the longest sustained laugh in the entire history of American television. Carson named it as his single favorite moment of the entire 30-year run. While Ed Ames broke Carson with a tomahawk, this next guest broke him with a single quiet line: George Gobel and the Brown Shoes. 1969, Bob Hope is on the panel, Dean Martin is on the panel, Buddy Rich, Carol Wayne. They're cracking jokes about Jack Benny, about Las Vegas, about Phil Harris. The room is full of legends, and Carson decides to bring out one more guest, a 50s TV variety star whose career has cratered by the late 60s, George Gobel.
We've got this delightful guy. I think he's one of the funny men in our business. Who? George Gobel. George Gobel? George Gobel. I dig.
Gobel walks out third. He's clearly tipsy. He's been waiting backstage for an hour. He's wearing a tuxedo, and he's stuck on a panel with two of the biggest names in show business, Hope and Martin, who keep cracking jokes over him. Then Dean Martin starts secretly flicking cigarette ashes into Gobel's drink behind his back. The audience can see it. Gobel can't.
Oh, this is beautiful. It is good to see you. I thought you were...
What did you call me? Lonesome what?
No, I'm not. I'm talking about George Gobel.
Carson can sense the energy in the room shifting. Gobel is being mocked in real time by his peers. So Carson does the only thing he can do. He hands Gobel the floor and asks him a softball question. And what Gobel says next becomes one of the most quoted lines in the entire Carson archive.
Pretty fast league.
Oh, this is the 8 troops are out here
And
tonight.
I'm glad you saved me. Now, did you ever get the feeling... Did you ever get the feeling that the world was a tuxedo and you were a pair of brown shoes?
Carson dies. Hope dies. Dean Martin dies. The panel is gone. The audience is gone. A drunk old comedian whose career was over has just demolished the most powerful room in television with 11 words. And Carson never recovers control of the segment.
Exactly what time did I lose control of the show? You make a note of it?
Carson admits on air that he's lost the show. He asks for the timestamp. He's that gone. While George Gobel broke Carson with a single line, this next guest broke him with an actual cheetah. Joan Embury and the Cheetah. September 13th, 1974. Joan Embury is the Goodwill Ambassador from the San Diego Zoo. She has done dozens of segments on Carson. Birds, snakes, reptiles, marmosets. Tonight she's brought a cheetah. Carson, sitting at his desk 5 feet from the animal, decides to give the audience a confidence speech.
Just relax.
They purr.
Relax. They say if you look an animal right in the face and talk to them, then they know you're not scared.
He delivers the line about looking an animal in the face. He explains they can sense fear. He smiles for the camera. The cheetah lunges. Carson screams. He sprints across the stage. He physically leaps into Ed McMahon's arms, the most polished host in the history of American television, hanging off his sidekick on national TV. The audience is on the floor. Carson never finishes the sentence about fearless animals. While the cheetah broke him with 1 second of motion, 2 weeks later, on the same desk, two friends would break him with shaving cream and an egg trick. Dom DeLuise's egg trick collapses. September 26, 1974, comedian Dom DeLuise comes on Carson with a kitchen magic trick he learned from Roy Clark. He has 5 glasses of water, a tray, a book of matches, 5 raw eggs. The premise: when he hits the tray, the eggs are supposed to fall perfectly into the water glasses below.
Okay.
Well, here we are at the trick.
Okay, here we are at the trick. Now let me just tell you that I have 5 glasses of water.
DeLuise walks Carson through it. He sits Carson down. He places the eggs. He explains that on 3 he's gonna hit the tray and the eggs will fall in the water. Carson, visibly nervous, asks what his role is.
I don't like this very much.
What are you scared
What
about?
I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the tray, and all the eggs that I put up here are going to fall in the glass. It's really nice, John. You're going to love it.
What is my role in it?
Your role is to sit there and trust me. And no,
DeLuise warns Carson that the eggs are raw, just in case. He counts down, he hits the tray, and the trick, broadcast live to millions of Americans, does not work.
Just in case it doesn't work.
Wait, just let me prove to you that the eggs are
yeah,
raw.
there,
Okay, the eggs are all raw.
Just in case this doesn't work.
Eggs go everywhere. Carson is covered. His suit is destroyed. He cracks his own eggs into DeLuise's pockets. DeLuise cracks eggs into Carson's pockets. The most fastidious host in American television is now smearing yolks across his desk on national TV.
You're totally insane.
Hey, Johnny, no more guests.
What? Oh, good heavens.
You guys are bananas.
Wait, let me get Burt Reynolds out quick. Over there.
I did a quality sketch. I mean,
Yeah.
Did you see my eggs went right in?
They did.
And then
Carson tells the producer no more guests. Then he immediately calls for Burt Reynolds. Burt walks out, sees the chaos, looks at Carson, and grabs a can of shaving cream off the desk.
I just looked at myself. That's the worst skin condition I've ever seen in my life. See, once you start squeezing them, this is what... Very bad.
Burt sprays Carson down. Carson grabs his own can. The two code each other on national television. The Tonight Show desk, usually one of the most controlled set pieces in late night, is now a war zone of dairy and foam. Carson is laughing so hard he can't speak.
Didn't know what you were gonna do when you walked out. I didn't know it was gonna be that.
Excuse me.
That's nothing new, is it? No. Just freshen up there a little bit.
Like high school.
Isn't this ridiculous?
The full episode is preserved in the official Carson archive. While Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise broke Carson with food, this next guest broke him by destroying an actual heirloom. Johnny raids Don Rickles' set, December 14th, 1976. Carson comes back from a vacation. Bob Newhart had been guest hosting the night before. Carson sits down at the desk and notices something is wrong with the wooden cigarette box he has kept on that desk since 1962. Don Rickles, on the show the night before, had used it as a rubber stamp during an immigration agent bit. He'd broken the lid.
What the hell happened to this? You know how long I've had this cigarette box on this desk?
You brought that up from New York City?
I brought this from New York. What on earth?
Carson is told that Rickles is taping his sitcom CPO Sharky on the next soundstage at NBC right now. And Carson, mid-show, with his own audience watching, does something he had never once done in 14 years of hosting The Tonight Show.
Did it last night. He's taping across the hall. CPO Shark.
Can I get over there? Can I get over there?
He gets up, he grabs a microphone, he grabs a cameraman, he marches off his own stage. The cameras follow him live. He doesn't knock, he doesn't ask the producer's permission. He kicks open the door of the CPO Sharky set mid-take and storms in front of Rickles' own audience.
I don't give a damn if they're on the air. Rickles! Rickles, hold! Stop the taping. Stop the taping. Somebody broke my cigarette box. We're taping. I just started the show. I picked my box up off my desk that I've had for 9 years. My box is broken.
Rickles freezes. He stammers. He sweats. He apologizes. He tries to recover with the polished stage move, gesturing to his own audience and announcing the host of The Tonight Show. And Carson, for the only time on tape that anyone can find, kills him with a single line.
Nice.
Well, I really...
You
No, but I'm sorry about the box. I will come up with something.
Well, I hope
Johnny
that's,
Carson, they know who I am. Okay, now wait a minute. Why do you always do that? Johnny Carson, they know who I am. Don Rickles. What is that? Do your show.
Both audiences, The Tonight Show and the CPO Sharky crowd, are screaming. Rickles confirmed years later in the New York Times that the entire raid was unscripted. Carson had never done anything like it. He never did anything like it again. While Rickles broke Carson by destroying his property, this next guest broke him by accident. Myrtle Young and the Potato Chip, October 16th, 1987. Myrtle Young is a 64-year-old potato chip inspector from Fort Wayne, Indiana. She has spent 25 years sorting chips at the Seifert's plant. She has a hobby. She collects chips that look like celebrities. Carson has booked her on the show. She's brought her collection in a small case.
Well, we have a little more time left here. Now, what are some of your prize ones on this?
Well, I have a pair of dirty sweat socks and
She walks Carson through the chips. A calf without eyes, the number 8, a camel, a pear. She turns to Ed McMahon to show him the next one, and Carson, with the camera on Myrtle's face, reaches under his desk, pulls out a regular potato chip from a bowl he had pre-stashed, and bites it loudly.
but
What that does look like,
the
head of a
shape
calf.
of a cow or a calf.
Right, okay. And this is,
That's an 8.
that's an 8.
Myrtle whips around. She thinks Carson has just eaten one of her prized celebrity chips. The horror on her face is real. She's a 64-year-old woman watching the most powerful man in late-night television destroy her hobby. Carson immediately breaks. He cannot keep a straight face long enough to reassure her.
No, I didn't. Excuse me. God. Poor Myrtle thought I was eating her collection. No, they had a bowl back here of just regular chips. Start there, didn't you?
I heard that.
You heard that crunch and you thought I was eating her act. Okay.
He's wheezing. He cannot recover. The bumped guest behind Myrtle that night was Jennifer Tilly. Carson kept Myrtle on so long that Tilly's segment got cut. TV Guide later named the Myrtle Young chip prank the funniest moment in the history of television. While Myrtle broke Carson by accident, this last guest broke him with one laugh that wouldn't stop. Deanne Cannon can't stop laughing. October 25th, 1985. Deanne Cannon is on the show. She's been talking about meeting her current husband. She has just told Carson and the audience that on her second date with her boyfriend, she called her parents and told them she was going to be with this man for the rest of her life. Carson does the math. He pivots, and he asks her, without warning her in front of millions of viewers, about the time he and Diane Cannon went on a date.
After the second time I was with him, I called my mom and dad and said, this is it. I'm going to be with this man for as long as I live.
Now, can I ask you something without getting too intimate? How do you know after,
Deanne Cannon starts laughing. The laugh keeps going. Carson tries to ask the follow-up. She cannot stop laughing. The audience is laughing. Carson is now laughing. Not at the joke, but at how hysterical Diane Cannon is at the memory of their date.
Why is she laughing?
Wait a minute.
Why is she laughing?
See, there's the difference right there. And I didn't see you running to the phone to call mom and dad after we went out a couple times.
The entire premise of Carson's persona, the cool, controlled Nebraska man with ice water in his veins, collapses on contact with the woman he used to date. He's not the host anymore. He's just an ex-boyfriend on national television, completely flustered, while the woman he went out with 20 years earlier laughs at his desk for 30 straight seconds.
Yeah.
Which just goes to show, Johnny Carson hosted 4,531 episodes of The Tonight Show. He sat behind that same desk for 30 years with the same eyebrow, the same smirk, the same calm. And every once in a while, once or twice a year, at most, somebody walked onto that stage and broke him. A sheep exploded. A tomahawk flew. A drunk man in brown shoes opened his mouth. And the audience got to see what was always there underneath the polish, a Nebraska kid who thought farts were funny. The clips outlive him. They outlive every guest, and they're still the only proof anybody needs that the most composed man in American television was never as composed as he looked.